I've just arrived at a home in New Haven that is having a tag sale. I originally pulled up and I thought, maybe it's not happening this week. Maybe I got the dates mixed up, which I do from time to time. But no, there's a sign saying it's in the back patio. So I'm gonna go check it out. It is possible that my filming opportunities will be limited depending on what kind of space there is and where the owner is. So we'll see how we do. Here's the house that's having the estate sale, and you can see it's very pretty. The sign is on the door. It says on the patio with arrows, so I guess it's safe to go right. I'll do that in just a moment. Pretty landscaping as well. So let's go around the side. I can see some gates from here. Maybe that's a good thing. Oh my gosh, I bought so many good things. Just as I suspected, I wasn't able to take any footage, but oh my gosh, I spent about $120 and I am in love with all of my purchases. I can't wait to show you when we get home. While we're in the general neighborhood, it wouldn't hurt to take a quick stop at Goodwill in Westville. It's really not too far from here, and I have to pass it on my way to get back on the highway. By the time you see this video, Halloween will be over, but at the time of filming, you can see it's very much Halloween time here at Goodwill. There's quite a lot here on the end cap, and I was thinking if you were having a Halloween party, wouldn't these candy corn wine glasses be so funny? I had Mousetrap when I was a kid. It had so many moving parts, it always confused the heck out of me. How about you? Did you play this game as a kid? This is such a lovely framed piece of wall art. It's very tranquil. The colors are so pretty. They want $14.99 for this, but it does seem like it's in great condition. I don't like the frame on the piece behind it. Yes, very relaxing. This little, I don't know, what would you call this? A coat hanger, a little hook system with the shelf? I don't know. I like the roosters on it, but it's very thin and cheaply made, and I can see some damage on this. So it's cute, but staying here. This is a really interesting piece with the pears. I love the colors on this. I don't know which way it goes exactly. I guess like this. It's definitely nothing that I need for my own house, but if I were decorating a space, that would tempt me. And here's another really pretty piece of wall art for the fall. It's like this whole apple picking scene with the basket. I think that's absolutely charming. Let's see if we can find a price on this piece. It's not expensively made. It's $4.99, but you know what? It has a really interesting look and could be really fun for somebody's fall decor. I love this waterfall wall art piece. I would pick this up for my own office if I had any wall space left. I don't. This is so interesting. The colors are really unusual. It sort of changes tone when you move it back and forth. It's got like a metallic sheen. I'm thinking about it. You can tell I'm in a harvest frame of mind because this harvest scene on this melamine tray is definitely calling to me. There's no back stamp on this, but I might pick it up anyway. It's not too heavy to ship. It's an option. There's this one underneath it. Beverage Dispensing Company definitely has an interesting vintage look, although it's not old. It's made of plastic, but it's a much heavier plastic. Has a back stamp, but it's hard to see. And it's very large. So Brock Park, maybe? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna leave it here. These candlesticks are kind of cute. $3.99. Now, I bet that's $3.99 each. And for that price, I can't pick these up for resale. Yep, $3.99 each. So hopefully somebody else will find them. We have an interesting glass container here on the bottom shelf. And this is actually an option for some home storage solutions. This pink glass is so pretty. Each piece is marked individually, so again, that makes it really hard to pick up for resale, but it's nice, and if I wanted it for my own collection, I'd pick it up. These plates are so pretty. I love the purple flowers on these. Very springtime. These were made by Royal Dalton. I think these might go in the cart. They look like they're in good shape. I wanted to show you this set because it's kind of interesting and has an interesting spooky vibe, although I don't think that's intentional. It sort of reminds me of cobwebs, although that's clearly not what it's trying to be. But it has a really interesting effect, and it's kind of nice that there's a lot of pieces in this set, so if somebody wanted to pick it up, they'd have a nice grouping of items. I like these bowls with the pretty fruit rims. And I'm checking for damage, and I just spotted some. So there's a shallow chip here on the top bowl. This was made by Home Made in China. I like the colors on them. This planter is fun. It reminds me of something I would find in IKEA. Kind of modern, kind of interesting, definitely a conversation starter. This hydrangea plate is so pretty. It's a nice big size, but it's not too heavy. It's got great colors. They want $2.99 for this, which is not a deal breaker. So I'm going to think about this. This is a pretty bowl. At first I thought these were pumpkins, but nope, they're apples. They're very orange looking apples, if you ask me, but it's still a cute piece. This pink glass bowl is really pretty for $3.99, but it's pretty scratched up, and colored glass is not an easy sell for me anyway, so I better not pick this up. I'm getting a better look at this very tall lamp with this sort of glass base and brass tone base. $9.99 is not that cheap, but I have a specific idea for this. I kind of like this bowl despite the fact that it has something gross inside it. I guess that's why we have soap and water in our kitchens for cleanup on things like this. I don't know, it has a quality. This cutting board is adorable. It's like a little green grocer scene. The colors might be tricky for somebody to work with. That is a lot of hot pink happening and the vibrant green. But if you get a really close look at it, you're gonna see an adorable orange cat sleeping in the window. Because that cat is called Ginger. So it's kind of cute. And even though I like it, I don't think I'm gonna pick it up today. This bowl is Farberware, interesting. And this leaf is kind of pretty, but chipped. Too bad. I've been looking for planters just like these, so these are definitely coming home with me, and I'm excited to have found them. Good price, too. What is this? Whoops, as I drop and break things off the shelf. This is kind of pretty. It's like a nice sort of wheat-themed wreath. I like the colors on this. It's an option. I love to find handmade blankets or handmade anything at a thrift store, but those blue tones are hard to work with and would be a tough sell, I think. And same with this one. It's really pretty, and if you have the right space for it, that's fantastic. But that colorway doesn't tend to suit most modern home decors. So for that reason, I'm going to leave them. It's official. My cart is full. I had a good day at Goodwill.
Oh my gosh. The thrifting gods have been so kind to me today. I have a lot of things and my car is pretty full. I am gonna make a quick stop at Katz's Deli because they have the best matzo ball soup in the world and I must have some for later. And then I'm gonna hightail it to the post office. I hope I make it. We'll find out.
Here's Katz's Deli. There is, of course, a huge line at the counter. There always is, but I called ahead, so I should be in and out of here soon. When I get home, I'll show you my finds. I am so excited to show you what I picked up when I was out and about on Saturday because I found some really good, kind of unique things. Some things that I'm keeping, some things I'm reselling. Yeah, and it's all the more fun when I can share it with you. So let's get right to it. And we're gonna start with the tag sale I went to in New Haven. Now, I had a feeling that it was gonna be worth the trip because I know the street that it's on, and that street is full of beautiful old houses that were built around the turn of the century. In fact, I used to purposefully cut through from my childhood home in Orange to one of my apartments that was in New Haven. I would purposefully cut through that street because I just love driving by it and seeing all of this beautiful, stately old homes. So when I saw that street address come up, I knew that it was probably going to end well, and it really did. So let me show you what I got. Miss Iris is all over me. Let me show you what I got. I'm gonna start with, I guess, one of the smaller things I picked up. And it is this gorgeous covered, I don't know, what do you call this? A covered dish, a covered bowl, little covered casserole. Don't you love the blue and white details and the ribbing on this? It is so pretty. And here is the lid. There's even designs on the very top, which is so pretty. Put this aside. The inside is just plain white. And this is Fine Oven China, Royal Worcester, Royal Porcelain Company. It's called Blue Bow, and this was made in 1983. So that's the back stamp. And the owner of the home told me that it was never used. Also, as an aside, the owner of the home is a chef. So we would imagine a chef would only have very nice things in her kitchen. So I thought this was a beauty, and it's going to be available for sale on my eBay store. I would keep it, but I don't have that particular color palette going in my home, and goodness knows I don't need more porcelain, ceramic, or china in my life. I say that, but next week I'll show you the porcelain, ceramic, and china that I picked up, because if you're a regular viewer, you know how I roll. But the very first thing I bought was this amazing writing desk. How can I show this to you? Because it is very large. Isn't this amazing? Oh my gosh, I love it so much. But I think I need to put it down so I can show it to you properly. Hold on a second. So here is this beautiful, actually I called it a writing desk. It isn't a writing desk. It's more like a storage area or like a caddy for your mail and supplies. So the door's open, you can put your envelopes and other kinds of things in here. There are little compartments where you could put ink, you could put pens and pencils and things. So there's a space for everything. I love this ornate detail right on top. And of course the doors are beautiful. And then it even has this open space where you could put papers and things. So this is such a beautiful piece. I am definitely keeping it. I am obsessed, and I think it will look gorgeous in my study. I just need to clear off an area so I can show this off to its very best advantage. For right now, I've put this beautiful antique desk caddy. That's what I'm calling it anyway. I put it on this little bookshelf. This is actually like a little china cabinet that I use as a bookshelf. I'd really like to find a space for it here on the roll top desk, but it's difficult because the control for the heating is that like little white box above the antique writing desk. So that creates a lot of limitations. I'm thinking of moving this big lamp and replacing it with something smaller. That will give me more real estate here as well. So I'm going to continue to kind of ponder and think about it. But whatever I end up doing with this, I'm just so glad that I took it home with me.
I also picked up this beautiful copper tea kettle. This is so lovely. Now it has some little dings and dents. Copper is prone to that sort of thing, but this has such a nice old look to it. I think I'm gonna sell this. It's going to be challenging for me to do. I'll show you the inside. So here's the lid, and that's the inside of the lid. And here is the inside of the pot. I personally would just use this as a decor item in my kitchen as opposed to like actually using it, but that doesn't mean a person couldn't potentially use it as long as it checks out. I'm not sure what the safety parameters are around using vintage copper. This certainly gives me the sense that it's old. Here's the hinge, just so you see. And it's nice that you can move the handle back and forth, but I don't know. I just thought this was beautiful. I love old copper, so I thought this was gonna come home with me.
I'm so surprised to discover that this copper teapot fits on the shelves if I bend back the handle a little tiny bit. I just like adjust it. So it's gonna be harder to let go of it now, but I might put it on my eBay store anyway. We'll see what happens. My shelves are still decked out for Halloween. At the time of this filming, Halloween will be in 2 days. But of course, by the time you watch this, it will be well past. Such a pretty teapot. It has so much character and just a great patina. Don't you think?
The next thing that I'm going to show you is already in place, sort of. I don't know that this is where this particular piece is actually going to live, but it's a little too big for me to lift up to show you. So let me take you over to this corner of the kitchen. Check out this beautiful painted chest. So I was told that this is not that old. It's a mid-century piece. So probably 70 or 80 years old, somewhere in there. And it's got these great design details. And it opens up. Here it is inside. It's actually really nice and super clean. I don't have the lock that goes with it. You see, it's got this little lock, but I think it's so, so beautiful. And I love the yellow details. Of course, our kitchen is yellow. So I may be keeping this here, or I might find another place for it. I'm not quite sure, but I thought it was really, really interesting, and I thought it had to come home with me. While I was at the tag sale, I was admiring these gorgeous candlesticks. There are 2 of them. They are incredibly heavy. So let's see if I can hold them up. Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah, these are very heavy, so I'm gonna put one down. They're exactly the same. And you can see they have this great Rococo style. There's lots of lines and details. They've been painted this sort of gold tone color. But what the owner of these things told me was that they are actually brass. And her son, who had taken them from the home, his mom had said he could take them for his first apartment, and she explained exactly how to clean them. Well, apparently he didn't feel like cleaning them, so instead he painted them. And she was horrified, and eventually, I guess he didn't need them anymore. She took them back. She was clearly a lover of old things, and she said it was always her plan to restore them to their original glory, but she just hadn't gotten to it. So her tip to me was to use zip strip and to kind of cover the piece in zip strip and then try to clean it off with a soft brush. Even a toothbrush, she said, would be effective. And then the brass should come back. So that's a little project, but I think I'm here for it because I love these. And I think they might look really nice on my second floor hallway area. So We'll have to see how this works, but I thought they were so beautiful. The last thing I picked up at the tag sale was a beautiful vintage Aubusson rug. Let me show this to you. Here are some of the details, and Iris is bumping the camera. I'm gonna lay this out so you can see this a little bit better. Here is the beautiful Aubusson rug. I paid $10 for this, which is crazy because I love it so much. So of course the question will be, where is it going? And I don't have an answer to that question, but I think it is stunning. Look at the individual stitching on this. I love the color tones. I love how muted they are. And I think this will be a beautiful rug, but I think this could also look gorgeous draped over a sofa or even as part of a tablescape, believe it or not. You could wash this up really well and definitely use it that way. I would not put food or drink on this. I wouldn't chance it, but as just a cover in between, having people over for dinner, I think it could work. But I actually have something specific in mind that I'd like to try. Well, Iris just ruined the shot, but I've just put this beautiful rug in the main entryway that's been under construction for 10,000 years, and I think it looks gorgeous. I've shared before that our plan is to do a black and white checked effect, or like a diamond pattern, painted effect on the floor, very colonial. But this could still look really beautiful right here. And I wouldn't worry about somebody coming in through the front door and potentially ruining it because we don't have anybody come through this front door. This is an incredibly old street, and so the door leads like almost directly to oncoming traffic. I would open the door and show you, but I'm afraid the cats will scoot out if I do that. So if I did keep this here, we'd need a rug pad. So we don't have kitties playing slip and slide on it, but I think this could be really beautiful. Let me back up. What do you think? Do you like this rug here? Here's the whole room. I think it's gorgeous. I love it, but I would love to know what you think, so leave me a comment. Yay or nay to the Aubusson rug in the front entryway, minus crazy cats playing on it. What do you think? One fun little thing I want to share about the tag sale was the woman who owned this home was so lovely. Her backyard was gorgeous. She was just full of like tips and tricks for dealing with some of the things that I purchased, using beeswax on that beautiful wooden piece that I picked up, spraying the Aubusson rug outdoors just with a hose and a little bit of soap to clean it up. She was joking that her friends called her Martha Stewart because she is a chef and she has all these great tips and tricks and she loves antiques. And let me tell you, she looked a lot like Martha Stewart. So my joke to her was when I got home, I was gonna tell my husband that I had bought all of those things from Martha Stewart and that he would be so impressed. Just a little funny aside. But anyway, after I left the tag sale, I decided to go over to Goodwill in Westville because I tend to have some good luck there, and I hadn't been to a Goodwill for a little while, so I figured why not see what they have? And I found a few good things that I'm excited to share with you. So the first two are not that interesting, but I've been looking for them, believe it or not. So for me, it's perfect, and it's just these two very generic white planters, because right before our first frost, which has now happened here in Connecticut, I dug up my rosemary plants because I thought maybe I could keep them going during the winter. Now, of course, for me, keeping plants safe in my house with the cats is really hard. But I thought if I could put them in kind of smaller planters, maybe I could put them up like on the fireplace mantle or somewhere else, like, I don't know, where I could kind of keep them safe. And I think these will fit the bill. And I wanted white ones because then I thought they just kind of disappear. So I picked these up and I think they were a good find. This one has an old chives seed packet stuck to it, which is beautiful and classy, if you ask me. I think I'll probably remove that before I use it, because ew. So that was my first find. Here are my rosemary plants and the new planters. And actually, I found out these were made in Holland. I assumed they were something just kind of made in China. But yeah, made in Holland. I think they're really pretty. I wish I could leave them here on the windowsill. There is no chance of that because of the cats. So I'm going to move them, but I'm showing them to you here because if you have some kind of herb that you want to save from the winter weather, if you live somewhere like Connecticut that gets super cold, this could be an option for you if you don't have this in your life. Or this. Just saying. I bought this lovely stack of plates. I thought these were gorgeous. These are Royal Doulton. Royal Doulton is not a fast seller for me like some other brands, like Spode is much faster, or Lennox. Even Mikasa sells pretty quickly for me. Royal Doulton, a little less so, but I could not pass these up. Because look at how pretty the design is. Aren't they gorgeous? These would be so pretty as like little dessert plates for somebody's table. They'd be really beautiful in the spring, especially. They make great little dessert plates. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Such a handy number. Oh, let me show you the back stamp. These are in really nice shape. The pattern is called Passion Flower. And I don't get to pick up China that much anymore because it tends to be priced individually. And when you calculate all of that, it's just too expensive for resale. And I really never find like Lennox out and about when I'm at Goodwill anymore. So when I find some really pretty China that I can put on my eBay store, it makes me so very happy. And I think this is lovely. Here's a better look at the pretty plates that I purchased, just so you can get a sense of how they would look on a dining room table. I think they're really pretty. I need to give these a good wash, but I really, really like them. If I was in need of dessert plates, I would be tempted to keep these myself. I try so hard to avoid picking up singleton plates because it's just not that profitable under most circumstances. But there was no way I was going to leave this gorgeous hydrangea themed platter behind. This is so pretty, and it's not too heavy, which is really nice as well. So it won't be heinous to ship. Tell that to the shipping department, right? So this was made by Block, and it's called Garden Grove. And it was produced in 1998. And I think this is gorgeous. It could be gorgeous just for serving whatever you wanted to serve, but this could also be a really pretty decor piece, especially as part of a spring decorating scheme. So that's gonna be available on my eBay store. I think the plate looks lovely sitting here in the bay window. I think this really shows off how it is useful, of course. As I said, you can serve all kinds of things on this beautiful plate, but it also is pretty enough to stand alone on a plate stand or to hang on a wall somewhere if you were so inclined. In contrast, I picked up this really interesting platter. So this is much larger, as you can see, and it has a great harvest theme, which I thought was awesome. And this is melamine. So this is awesome for somebody who wants something that's not breakable, something they can just wipe down with a sponge and they're all set. You could put all kinds of things on this and it will work out really well. There's no back stamp at all. And I usually shy away from things that don't have any kind of maker mark. I just thought this was actually even pretty enough to be decor, but could also be really handy for serving. I love trays like this, especially like if I'm going to, for instance, my dining room table and I need to bring a lot of things from the kitchen into the dining room. I can, stack up napkins and silverware and salt and pepper shakers and all kinds of things and use this as sort of a caddy back and forth. I use trays like that all the time. I use trays for everything. My cats and dog even eat their food dishes sit on trays. I love them for everything. But I thought this pattern was especially good, so I picked it up.
As I mentioned before, this tray is certainly a very practical, useful piece for anyone, but it's also pretty to stand alone as part of decor. It looks nice in my kitchen, I think. It's maybe lacking some of the spooky vibes that some of my other decor items have right this moment, but I think it's very pretty and very, very useful. I have often wanted to place a bowl on my kitchen table and have fruit and things like that in my bowl, but I know from past experience that the cats will break said bowl, so I haven't wanted to even tempt fate around that. I actually have a beautiful Pottery Barn bowl that I've shown before, like kind of a mustardy color. It's so large. It is the perfect fruit bowl, and I paid a little bit for it at a tag sale. It was the Historic Society. It was the Glastonbury Historical Society tag sale. I paid like $30 for it. So I definitely don't want it smashed to the pieces on the floor. That will make me so unhappy. So I haven't used it in the way that I would most like to use it. However, I found this guy at Goodwill, and as you can see, this is not breakable. So I could use this as a fruit bowl in the way that I have been meaning to try. The question is, will the cats nibble the fruit? I don't know. I guess I'll find out. But the reason why I thought this would be a good pickup for me, again, gives me a little something interesting on the kitchen table. And I could put it like a little placemat or something under it and switch the placemat up with the seasons if I want to. But yeah, I can give that a try and see if it makes me happy. If it works, then great. If it doesn't work, I didn't pay much for it, so no harm. I thought I would show you Miss Iris, who has already claimed the fruit bowl. If this isn't a bad sign of things to come and why I shouldn't have a fruit bowl, I don't know what is. But I guess maybe it's good that she's so comfortable in it. Listen, I'm just trying to find, some positive thing to say here. And then over back here, amongst lots of things that need to be returned for shipping purposes or put in its right location, we have Mr. Indy Cat looking out the window at this very dreary gray day. He's such a handsome guy. I just washed up this bowl, this little wicker bowl, and it cleaned up really well. I put a towel underneath it anyway, just because that will be an easier item to clean up if the fruit gets a little mushy or a little weird. And I put it here on a placemat, and I'm gonna see how it goes. But I think that this could be a useful piece, even if I end up putting something different in it instead. Like I said, I didn't invest much in it, so if it doesn't work out, it won't be the end of the world. I realize that a container like this is not very interesting, but I use things like this all over my house. This is great for putting flour in, for putting sugar in, for putting like even laundry detergent in if I want to get rid of the ugly containers around that. I have like bath salts that I can store in here. I am always looking for more of these for various storage solutions throughout my house. So while it isn't a beautiful antique, it's not that interesting, it's not that exciting, I will get lots of use out of it. And I would definitely recommend on your adventures, if you run into kind of these glass containers, think before you pass them by and ask yourself if you can maybe swap out something that's not very attractive and put that thing in a glass container instead, and maybe have a little bit more of an aesthetic look. It's a small thing, but sometimes the small things add up. I decided to store our dishwasher pods in this glass container. I think that will work out really well. I just ordered this brand. I don't know if anybody here has any experience using it, but the ingredients are supposed to be a little bit more natural, a little bit less toxic than some of the other kinds of things you find around. Will they work as well is a question I can't answer yet. So if you use this brand and like it, please let me know in the comments. I've been trying a lot of different products lately and would always appreciate your feedback. Regardless, I think this is going to work out really well. I just need to wash up the top, and then this will go under the sink. I went back and forth on this next thing. I couldn't decide if I loved it or hated it. I decided I loved it.
here it is. It's hard to see, and was part of the problem. It has like this metallic shine that is a little odd, but also kind of cool. So I don't know if you can see that this is spelling out bath. And there's these like little cherubs or angels. They look very Victorian. And it's against this sort of greenish, like I said, this sort of glowing metallic background. And it has this beautiful frame that I need to wash because it's got gross dust on it. Ew, I'll do that after. But I don't know, I thought it had a quality. So I decided to take a chance on this and pick it up. I only paid $3.99 for it. And once I got it home and I sprayed the glass but didn't dust the top, obviously. I don't know, I think it was fun. So I'm not sure what I'm doing with this yet, but I'm glad I picked it up. I've leaned this little bath picture on a towel rack in one of the guest bathrooms, and you're just seeing so much glare from the window. But what's interesting is that the green tone kind of matches the very old tile in this bathroom. So this could fit here, and I could kind of hang it from this higher spot, but I don't know if that would just be busy as opposed to charming or interesting. I don't know, what do you think? I mean, also, I don't really want to bring attention to this towel bar, which is broken and on the list of things to figure out in this life. So maybe my best bet is just passing this on, but I would love to hear your thoughts. I found this wreath, this wreath that I thought had kind of a cool harvesty quality for the fall. I don't really have a fall wreath. I was thinking I could like poke maybe something in here to give it a little bit more interest, but it might even make sense just plain like this. I'm not sure. The main thing is keeping it away from kitties who really want to chew on this guy. So I think I'm going to put it up right now to avoid any further mayhem. Let's see how it looks on the front door. So I thought I would hang this right here because I like how nice and neutral it is. Let's stand back. Yeah, I think that looks really, really pretty. It's just a little something extra and looks nice with the rug I showed you before. So I think it's just a little something, like I said. It's sort of silly to decorate this area because this room isn't, well, not room, this space isn't done yet, but I don't know, it's hard not to. It's what I do. I don't think that this will make it in the attic because I think mice will find their way to it and chew it, but I only paid a little bit for it at Goodwill, so I won't cry if something happens to it. I'll enjoy it for this year anyway. My last pickup for the day made me so happy because I have been looking for this and I have not been finding it. So I grabbed this lamp that's nice and tall. I really like the transparent sort of glass base, and I like the sort of brass toned finish of this. I don't love the shade, but I don't hate the shade, so that's okay. And this is actually going in my office space. I have this little bare table that needs a lamp, and I also need more light in that space in general. It tends to feel a little dark and dreary to me, and I think some extra lighting will completely resolve that problem. So I like this, and what's nice is that if that ever isn't my office space, if I get reassigned to a different office in another year, or if I decide that I'm not going to stay where I am currently, this is a light I could use really anywhere. In fact, it would look pretty in my own house. If I used it in my own house, though, I would change the shade. On the finials, nothing special, but it's nice that it has one. I like when lamps have finials. I think it's just a nice finishing touch. Here's the lamp that I picked up at Goodwill, and I think it's really perfect for the space in terms of height, and it would give me that extra bit of light that I feel like this space really needs. But unfortunately, this lamp is broken. The little clicking mechanism, the mechanism to turn the lamp on, needs to be replaced, I guess. It doesn't ever sort of catch. I'm not using the correct terms here, friends, but I think you know what I mean. So I cannot turn this on. I could bring it home to Eric. Does Eric need another project? No, he does not. So I don't know, this might just end up getting donated back to Goodwill because I just can't add it to the pile of things to do. It would have been nice, but you know, I'll try again. That's okay. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I hope you'll consider hitting like, sharing it with a friend if you know someone who might enjoy it. I'd love it if you subscribe if you haven't already, but most important, have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you next Sunday. Bye for now.